Hi, Bashar. I have two questions. One is if you can please provide very elaborate guidance on how to recharge the brain when I feel very strong brain fogness and brain fatigue. And the second is how do I heal my brain after narcissistic abuse? Thank you.
As always, examine your belief systems as to why you would hold on to the experience, what you get out of it. Take the time to go within in a quiet, perhaps meditative state, to examine and explore with great honesty within yourself why you would keep holding on to the effects of a narcissistic experience of abuse. Because you must be getting something out of it, either again in a belief that you are not worthy to go forward beyond it, or that you fear something worse will happen if you try to go beyond it. So take the time and relax and refresh, maybe even immerse yourself to some degree in water that's comfortable for you, and just float with the idea of why you might be holding on to, what reason you would create within yourself to hold on to an experience that you do not prefer. Because the only reason you would hold on to it is because you're choosing to, because you think somehow you're getting something out of it. So learn the lessons within and let it go.
Oh, hello. Thank
Good
you.
day. Good day, good day.
Very excited to be here to co-create this with you.
As are we.
Thank you. My deep appreciation and love for all that you have given. Thank you so much. I would like to ask a question in regards to the children and on your world, how you approach teaching them the birds and the bees, if you will, and how you might suggest on our world and our society the best way to do that, to teach them these things.
Well, first of all, remember that in our society, we are wholly telepathic. Mm-hmm. So there are things that are simply innate because of the environment that the global telepathic link has created and allows our children to simply absorb information synchronistically at their own pace, at their own rate, when it is appropriate for them. So that happens almost automatically in terms of the downloading of certain things, certain forms of knowledge that they may require to understand the society they have chosen to be born into. On your planet, however, obviously there are various ways of communicating a variety of things. Now, it always starts with what we have already suggested in terms of the primary important steps that children require on your planet in order to be appropriately educated as to how to function in your earthly society to great advantage. Mm-hmm. And again, it starts with the idea of the parents or teachers, the adults, being creative and imaginative enough to create a safe space, be it a simulation or some sort of setup that allows children from a young age to understand the consequences of their actions. This then allows them to learn the idea of equality and respect, and the idea that every action has a equal and opposite reaction in some way, shape, or form, and to learn to make constructive and positive choices so that they may create positive and constructive consequences that benefit not just themselves, but everyone, because they have to be taught how to look at a holistic system rather than just looking at things as a collection of independent parts, although both to some degree are necessary. The idea also is to teach them that they are as powerful as they need to be to attract whatever they need in life synchronistically in perfect timing without having to hurt themselves or anyone else in order to do so. And notice that we said what they need, not necessarily what they want, which doesn't always align with what they truly need. But if they are taught that if they get exactly what they need, they will have a life fulfilled and a joyful life, then they will begin to understand the principles upon which reality actually works in a way that benefits them. Also, anything that you deem is necessary for them to learn to thrive in physical reality, find a way, again with your own creativity and imagination, to help them learn the lesson by adapting the lesson to their excitement rather than attempting to squeeze their excitement down into the lesson and limit it. If they are taught how to learn things based on what they are already excited about in their language, so to speak, then they will be eager to learn. And with these principles, along with teaching them the idea of the formula, then they will be able to grow as adults in a mature way, respecting all, respecting themselves, and what will come naturally in their behavior will be a way to experience any kind of relational encounter, be it sexual or friendly or otherwise, or business, in a manner that allows there to be a balance for all, a respect for all, an equality for all, and those factors will synchronistically guide them into the appropriate behaviors and actions that will allow all forms of relationships to be positive. Does this answer your question?
Yes, I think it does. Thank you.
Yes. Anything else?
I have one more question, if possible.
Yes.
I would like to, I have been recently discovering what my highest excitement is, kind of taking an inventory of my life and what I've been doing, and realizing that my most excitement is I really would like to be, or somehow be, an ambassador with non-humans and those star families that are helping humanity to raise their vibration. I would like to kind of work to help acclimate humanity to co-living together somehow.
All right. Well, again, your creativity and imagination come to the forefront in this by creating programs that anticipate when such things, such encounters will be possible for you during the idea of open contact. So you can prepare in a variety of ways if you are imaginative and creative. The idea, again, to remember when we talk about acting on your passion, and when you say my highest passion, for now, because your passion can change its expression many times. But the idea is to remember that when we say act on your passion to the best you are able. So if the idea right now is that there isn't a physical representation of those encounters that you could be interacting with, do what you can to create the template for it, to create a process for it. So use your imagination and creativity and take it as far as you can until you have taken it as far as possible within your physical reality for right now in terms of what is allowed, what is happening, what is not happening, and then look around for the next most exciting thing. Even if it doesn't seem connected, the excitement tells you that it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can't quite really make a mistake somewhere if you are choosing from moment to moment, so to speak, your highest excitement. If something is not your most highest excitement, but you choose it, your synchronicities will guide you back.
If you are willing to learn the lessons from why it was chosen and explore the belief systems that would have caused the choice to be made, then yes, it's not a mistake. You are giving yourself an opportunity to clear yourself out of any misaligned belief systems that don't belong within what you prefer to be.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You are welcome.
One last question, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. This is a general question regarding the influence that the collective agreement has on an individual choice of something.
Yes.
How much does that have more weight than his individual choice on something?
It depends on the person. It depends on the theme you're exploring. It varies from person to person in terms of its percentage of influence, as you say. It depends. So there are some things that are clearly breaking away from the idea of the collective when you see things, for example, like a person such as Einstein, who comes up with a completely different paradigm for what the collective originally agreed to believe in. And thus, eventually, the collective adapts to that new paradigm expressed by very few people on the planet. So that's an opportunity for the collective to experience, shall we say, a loophole in the collective agreement that it is in certain timings, in certain ways, and with certain synchronicities, willing to have the entire paradigm agreement change. But the idea is that there are a few very general things that most people on your planet will not even care to change in order to accomplish what they need to accomplish. Such as you are playing a game of physical reality, and there's such a thing as the planet Earth, and such a thing as gravity, and so on and so forth. But again, it really depends on the person. Now, the things that excite you the most, that are truly aligned with your passion and truly representative of who you are, can always be accomplished in some way, shape, or form within the collective agreement, because that's allowed. But the idea is you may still be willing to believe that you must go through a process in order to figure all that out and express yourself, because the process itself may be what is necessary for you to have a fuller appreciation of what it is you are ultimately able to accomplish in expressing your true passion in life. And that's part of the collective agreement too.
Okay.
Does that answer your question sufficiently?
Yes, I got that.
All right. So have fun.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Okay.
Hello, Bashar. This is Nathan Biasana. I was wondering if it would be any way possible if I could have contact with one of the beings, if possible. I'm open to the idea, and I think it would be a great opportunity if I can have a close contact or come in contact. I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. Is good to meet you, Bashar, and she's the best.
Well, obviously, we are having contact right now in this particular format, but we understand what is meant. But again, there's a timing to these things that's appropriate not only for the individual, but for the all, for the collective. So again, we would simply suggest that you do your best to follow the formula, and remember that acting on your passion means acting to the best you are able to act, which means if you can't do a certain thing that you're excited about, then it's telling you that it's not necessarily the appropriate timing for that expression, but you can act on other things you are able to act on. So do so, and you will accelerate the process of being able to be ready in vibrational states that are appropriate for open contact to happen face to face with other kinds of beings. As we say, we will be giving you other permission slips, other exercises having to do with the idea of increasing the probability of contact when we go through the transmissions of the window, the door, and the gate. So that may be of assistance to you as well in the upcoming months of your 2023 year.
Hello. Hi. First, I want to say thank you for the synchronicity of talking with you.
It is our passion and our pleasure.
Thank you. So, I'm curious to know about a couple experiences I've had.
All right.
I made some homemade tincture and
Of what?
THC,
All right.
and I laid down to take a nap. And I thought that I fell asleep because I felt my entire body vibrating, and it was very intense but very pleasurable. I thought I was asleep. My bed felt like it was levitating on an angle with the head raised higher. And it felt like I was in warm water. It felt like somebody was behind me and wrapping their hand around my waist. And eventually I got up because I thought that I peed my bed. But it turns out that, my bed was dry, and when I looked at my watch to see how long I was asleep, it didn't detect any sleep. And then I had another similar experience where it felt like something externally again was pushing up from my root chakra, and it again was very pleasurable. So
Yes.
I'm wondering what these experiences could have been.
They're preparation states for altered states, fuller altered states that you may achieve later on. It's preparing you and allowing you to get used to certain higher frequencies so that you can more smoothly transition into higher altered states later on.
Okay.
Do you
So
understand?
was that my own body, or was that another entity?
There are other entities involved peripherally to some degree, but what you are experiencing is your own energy going into altered states, higher frequencies.
Okay. And also, I had come across a YouTube video from Rob Gauthier, the ET
Yes.
Whisperer,
Yes.
how to channel class, and I was doing one of his exercises, and I saw an entity, a being. He appeared to be male, with bluish gray skin and bluish gray hair. He seemed to have a flat affect, no really emotional. He didn't look like emotional at all. He appeared to be like a warrior type, not in a negative way, but just like a warrior type. I'm wondering, did I happen to see somebody that was not reaching out to me, just because I didn't have any specific, person in mind that I was trying to connect with? I just was seeing.
You are experiencing one face, one aspect in symbolic form of your own higher mind.
So is that another entity from like another dimension?
Your higher mind, your spirit self on the higher level. One
that was me.
aspect of it. Yes, but not you, the physical person only. A bigger representation. Remember that you are in spirit right now. You never leave spirit. That's your natural state. So what you are seeing is a portion, a representation, just one representation of a multifaceted level of your own being in the spirit world.
Were they trying to communicate with me, or
They did communicate with you because the things that you picked up are aspects you contain.
Ah, I see. Um, were they, are they located anywhere? Where are they located?
On a different plane, here and now, different frequency. In again, the same way that two television programs are located in the same space, but you only see one at a time based on what you're tuned to. All spirit is here. It's just a different frequency, different channel, if you wish.
And does this entity have a name?
It's up to you to determine what you wish to call your own higher mind. Remember, this is you. You keep referring to it as this entity. It's not
Right.
separate from you. This
Right.
is, you are an aspect of it. You are a projection of it. It is reflecting qualities to you that you contain, even as a physical being.
Okay. And
Use them in life. Go boldly forward.
okay. And I feel like somebody or something has been trying to connect with me. It is.
Did we not just talk about it?
Yes, you did.
All right. Don't separate what is not separated in terms of a question. It is all the same thing that we're talking about here.
Okay.
Your higher self is showing you and giving you opportunities to make a stronger, aware connection with it so that you can move forward in life more fully as your true self, acting on your passions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. This is Teresa. Can you talk about scapegoating? Why does scapegoating happen within a family? And what should a person do if they've been scapegoated their whole lives not to be socially marginalized? I grew up the scapegoat within my family, and I still have great difficulty feeling connected to other people, even in my old age. Thank you for all that you've done for me.
Where it is a badge of strength that you chose to be strong enough to, in a sense, take on the fears and lack of responsibility that other people have when they are not willing to look at their own issues and simply choose someone to foist them all and project them all upon. So it's a badge of strength that you were willing to do this for them, but you must reflect, if you are to be true to yourself, the idea that rather than continuing as a scapegoat, it's possible for you, though they don't have to accept it, that you can return information to them that allows them the opportunity to face their own fears and not foist them off on you, to allow them to take responsibility for their own negative and fear-based belief systems that they are simply unwilling to face, which is why people create scapegoats, because they fear the responsibility, because they define it as blame, and they are coming from a place of less than worthiness, and so on and so forth. But you have decided to be strong enough to play the part that allows them to use you, in a sense, as an excuse to not face themselves. But you don't have to continue to do so if you can respond appropriately. That puts them in touch with the idea that they need to look at themselves and their own issues if they really wish to expand in life. But that means you can go on without feeling like a scapegoat or experiencing the effects of being one, if you take the responsibility to reflect to them what it is they are actually reflecting to you about their